You guys are totally bored right now because of the quarantine/lockdown, and you have nothing better to do than watch YouTube videos, right? So here's a video about all my figures. This first one is Thor, because he was the biggest one I had, and I used him to calibrate the distance I needed to get on this video. His head's still kind of cropped off, but I don't really care. Anyway, I bought this one for myself for Christmas one year because I was in a GameStop and they had him, and I was like, you know what I need? A giant Thor figure. It was right after either Ragnarok or Infinity War came out. Anyway, I was a super big Thor fan by that point because Taika Waititi made him so hilarious and relatable. So I was like, yeah, I'll get a Thor figure. Why not? Anyway, here's Thor. Next up, this is Iron Man, Tony Stark. I got this the day after Endgame came out, because the day after Endgame came out, I went to an anime convention. You know, if I didn't see that movie day one, midnight release, and I went to an anime convention the next day, bruh, I would have been spoiled. And then, of course, I had to get some Tony Stark merchandise because of you know what happened. I also got this neat keychain thing. Yeah, look at that. Now that we got the Marvel stuff out the way, we can move on to the big boys. This is Cosmo from Konosuba. And this is the only Figma that I have, and I'm not going to buy any more because assembling this thing took so much effort. If you can't tell, he's holding panties because he has a steel ability in the game. Anime, I mean to say. Putting the panties into the hand just right took about half an hour, and it's very, very annoying, very frustrating stuff. And then he has this other little water thing. I think it's water because he can use a water attack later on in like season 2 or some shit. I'm beginning to realize that this distance with the camera was only appropriate for Thor because he was so big and everything else seems really, really small in comparison. But anyway, here's Hisoka. Jeremiah got me this for my birthday. And the best part about this guy is that if I can find the switch, where'd it go? He does this. Haha, you can't really tell because also the light's on my phone. Hold on, let me now look at this. Ho ho ho! The secret purpose of this video, beyond letting all you guys know how much money I've spent, is that I can dust off all these figures today because they've been sitting up there for quite a few years just gathering dust. I don't have any like, you know, extremely, you know, intricate glass cases for stuff besides those Power Ranger shit that you see right there. That's in the case, look at that. Okay, this is Saber from Fate Zero/Fate Stay Night. When Fate Zero first came out in English, I watched it in the dub. I don't really make a point of watching stuff in Japanese right away, unless it's like a brand new show, obviously, but I'm getting derailed. This is Saber, King Arthur. I don't know whether I should keep the light on or off, I don't really know. But this is also a character from Fate, Rin Tosaka. She's cool. I like Rin. When I first began to watch Fate Stay Night, I thought that Rin was going to be the main character because episode 0 is all about her. I like Rin. She throws rocks at people. And yeah, you can see her underwear on this, but I'm not going to show that. Yeah, you can really see, you know, my fingerprints in the dust right here. It's very, you know, the dust, ooh, look at that. Real thick. My last Fate-related figure is Mordred. She's also a Saber, but she's from a different anime, Fate Apocrypha? Yeah, Apocrypha. I don't really like this figure that much because I feel like her, this is not the best form for anyone to really be fighting in. I mean, her knees are like bending towards each other and she's leaving herself super wide open. There are definitely some better Mordred figures out there, but you know, I already got this one. If I find a better one, I might just sell this one and then, you know, replace it because I don't like having more than one figure of the same character. Yeah, I also got this little keychain thing, also with Mordred. Mordred's one of my favorite characters. She's cool. I like her better. As far as Sabers go, probably one of my favorites, or like the favorite. So now we're done with the Fate stuff, so we can move on to the Monogatari characters. We got Senjo Gahara and Koyemi Aragi. This is their canon height difference, by the way. I don't know if he mentions it in the anime adaptations, but I've been reading all the novels, and he narrates about how short he is. So yeah, this is, I'm sure, what Aragi believes to be his canon height difference from his girlfriend. Next up, we got best girl Shinobu Oshino, also from Monogatari, in her pure vampiric form, the iron-blooded, hot-blooded, yet cold-blooded legendary vampire, the aberration slayer, Kisara Sorola Orion Heart Underblade. They refer to her as that every time they mention her in the books, the full entire description. And I just think she's neat. Look at that. Next up is C2 from Code Geass. Like Mordred, it's not like my favorite figure of her. Her ass is really shapely defined though, look at that. And you can see her Geass code on her left tit. Yeah, C2 is one of the OG waifus from back in 2000 and whenever the fuck this thing came out. And like Mordred, again, if I find a better C2 figure, I might just replace it with this one. I don't like how it looks like she's leaning on something, but she isn't. It's just midair. Next, we got Satsuki Kiryuin from Kill la Kill, Bow Down Before Her. It took me a bit of effort to get this one because I got 2 of them. I got one, and then the little, her head wasn't fully there. Like, they didn't complete the figure when they packaged it, so her head was missing a piece, and I tried to return it, and they were like, no, you can't return shit, bruh. you might have opened it and torn that piece out. And I was like, why would I tear out part of her hair? That doesn't even make sense. I don't even have the tools for that. Also, it's been like 30 minutes. So then I went to a different booth, and I had to buy this one. If anybody wants to buy the one with a missing headpiece, by all means, comment in the section below. I don't really want it. But yeah, Satsuki Kiryuin. See, it's not centered. See, now it's centered, but like her sword isn't centered. It's very annoying. Next up is my boy Soma Yukihira from Food Wars. I haven't even watched any of the 3rd or 4th seasons. I've read all the manga. The manga kind of got bad, and then the epilogue chapters came out, and it's just like, watch at least the first couple seasons of Food Wars if you want to. I mean, at that point, just watch the whole thing, but don't expect the ending to be that good. Also from Food Wars, with this Jojo-like pose, is Takumi Aldini. Apparently he looks like somebody from, like, Fire Emblem or something. Like 3 Houses, I think? I don't know. So him and his brother use this Metzaluna kind of knife. Ooh, dusty. You can really see the difference in the... Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, it's so much dust. Him and his brother use this, and his brother's figure would latch on to the other handle, and that's kind of cool, but I don't want to get him. And last from Food Wars is Alice. This one's annoying because she was like lopsided, so I had to stick a thing under her left foot. Look at that, she's already bending over. I have to stick something under her left foot, and then the prongs that stick up off the stand, it snapped on her back foot, I think it is, so then that's just rolled under the back there. It's very frustrating. I would return it and buy a new one if I really cared that much, but, you know, bending over and being annoying, oh, that's a weird turn of phrase. Just being annoying is very in character for Alice, so I am allowing it to slide for the time being. She's a fun character. If anything, her skin isn't white enough on the figure. She's straight up albino. Can I focus on her? I don't know if that's really working. She should be like as white as her shirt. So now we're moving into Jojo. First up is Yoshikage Kira. He's my favorite villain in Jojo. There's like, I think there's a figure off his stand of a Killer Queen that would go alongside him, but I don't have that. So continuing on with Jojo, let's go in order of what part they appear in. Granted, this is Jotaro's outfit from part 4, but first up is Jotaro Kujo. Ora 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 ora. I didn't like Jotaro as much in part 3 when he was the protagonist, but then in part 4 he kind of became more interesting to me because he was like the mentor character. Josuke Higashikata from part 4. Part 4 is my least favorite Jojo part because it became like a slice of life comedy thing. I mean, I guess comedy is always like a factor in Jojo, but I didn't like how they spent so much time pretending to be Ed and Eddie, scamming Rohan out of his life savings instead of, you know, trying to catch the villain. But it did get really boring. I don't like part 4 that much. Now part 5 though, with Giorno Giovanna. Well, I like part 5. And Bucciarati, I want to get a Bucciarati figure so bad, and they had one and I didn't get it, and I got Giorno instead because I like Giorno, but I want to get a Bucciarati. If you notice, all the other figures that I have, they have platforms on them, but all the Jojo guys, they have these little things that go on their feet. So I find it ironic that all the Jojo characters don't have proper stands. It's funny, guys. It's so funny. Also, my PS4 background is also Giorno Giovanna. It's hard to see. Look at that. It's about a muda some guy. I think I put them backwards. They should be indicating towards the same central thing, I think. I don't really care. Rem and Ram from ReZero. I had to buy them together because obviously they come together. It was like one individually for like 30 and then like both of them for 45. And I was like, damn, that's just a steal. But yeah, ReZero is super cool. Well, I guess. It's actually not that good of a show. Cool, let me put them in the correct way, because you should be able to see their eyes under their bangs. How does it... I don't know. Something like that? This is a small one. It's Yukiko Amagi from Persona 4, aka Best Girl, who you should waifu by the end of it. There's another Yukiko figure that's like, well, I'm sure there's a bunch, actually, but the one I'm thinking about is like way bigger and it's like all intricate. It looked like I was gonna break it just by holding it, so I went with this tinier one instead. And then we got Makise Kurisu from Steins Gate. I'm pretty sure that's her name. Makise Kurisu? Kurisu Makise? Steins Gate's a good show. It's been so long since I've watched it, though. And they made another season, like a sequel. I don't think they needed a sequel, but they made one anyway. And we went to go watch it, me and Terrell, and then we realized, hey, we forget literally everything about the first season, but we're not gonna watch the entire show again just to watch the sequel. That would be ridiculous. So I'm never gonna watch season 2, I guess. Huh, how about that? This one's super cool. I think I showed this one in a previous video for Christmas, I think it was, because I got this one for Christmas. I got it for myself. This is Froppy from My Hero Academia. There's also figures that have other girls. I think it's not just girls, I think it might be like just characters in general. But they're all from the same like line of figures. Like this one says Splash, there's an Ochiko one that says like Float, and so on and so forth. I was thinking about getting all of them, but they're pretty fucking big, and they won't all fit on my shelf that I have them all assembled on, so that might just be an endeavor for a future year. This one I also showed during Christmas, and I hate it, because her fan does not... Is it this way? I don't... Aha! It's supposed to go in her hand, but it doesn't. Notice the way that her back bends completely unnaturally to show off her ass. That's not how a human body should ever work. But Tamari's like the only competent female character in Naruto, really. You gotta give her respect. Shikamaru and Tamari is the only pairing by the end that I 100% am on board with and wanted to happen since like the beginning of the series. So, good job, Shikamaru and Tamari. Your relationship actually makes sense. And last but not least, it's Naruto and Sasuke, as you see them all grown up, and I guess Boruto or whatever. Just like the Rem and Ran, they came as a set. I didn't have to buy them both, but I mean, come on, why would I not? How could I not get them both at the same exact time? Yeah, I think that's all of them. Pretty sure I have these little Pokemon dudes that Joseph got me for Christmas, Apom and, where? But for the most part, I think I got all of them. Satsuki comes with this little backdrop thing for her Honoji Academy. And yeah, and I got this little shot glass. I can't drink anything right now because of my gastrointestinal nonsense going on. That's not necessary for this video, but it's already in there. And then I got these little Power Rangers, Ninja Zord and the Thunder Zord and the White Tiger Zord. And I got these dudes. Edvin got me that one. Both of them? I think Edwin got me both of them, right? Yeah, I got the Power Ranger original Morpher, I got the Zeomorphers. I wanted the Zeomorphers since I was like a little kid. And then I got these Zord things that assemble when you get all the pieces out of the McDonald's Happy Meal. That's not actually true, but it's kind of similar. And then all the Ninja coins. I got the Mighty Morphin coins and the Ninja coins, actually. Those don't even exist in canon. And then I got a Naruto headband down here. And I got the Pokemon badges. Man, look at that dust. Haha.